What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, managing editor, Fightful.com, FightfulWrestling.com, FightfulMMA.com, FightfulBoxing.com. We have it all, my friends. Cross-platform. Join us. Lots of cool stuff over there. Lots of exclusives. When you check out the sub-sites, you get results, exclusives, a lot of other tabs that you don't get on the main site. So make sure you check those out. We got SmackDown 1000 to talk about. I am joined tonight by Alex Pawlowski. Alex, how's it going?
Well, for the main event of SmackDown 1000, we saw an old man shamble to the ring and do a vague promo. So that was fun.
Yeah, it reminded me exactly of Raw 25, essentially.
Yep.
I am also joined by Mr. Warren Hayes. Many of you may have said, well, wow, Sean didn't hit us with a Fightful Select plug to open the show. That's because I'm doing it right now. Right now. Mr. Warren Hayes joins me on the $5 tier, contributes heavily to that $5 tier. Retro reviews every month. He also does the weekly NXT 205 Live Mae Young Classic review live after that block of programming. It's pretty cool how that's all came to be, Warren. We set up that show to run Wednesday nights, and now there's a full block of programming ahead of that.
And it's really turned into the best 3 hours of WWE programming per week. And you know, I was kind of wondering after this, like, okay, well, when the Mae Young Classic is done, well, then, you know, I'll be able to go to bed early. But now we've got NXT UK, man. Yeah. I'm assuming it's probably going to air in the time slot they have allotted for NYC. We're going to have to check that out, Sean, and renegotiate my contract.
You're going to be talking about some bearded white European guys. That's for damn sure. FightfulSelect.com, guys. I won't run through the whole list of stuff, but just go to FightfulSelect.com. Maybe there's something in that $5 or $10 tier that might perk your ears up. We have a ton of content over there. I'm always adding stuff. So check it out. That is the best way to support Fightful.com directly as opposed to anything else. But also you can tweet our stories, all that good stuff. But in SmackDown 1000 form, we have a major occasion happening right now. YouTube is down. YouTube is down. YouTube is down. Alex.
It is. Down for the count.
YouTube is down. Warren,
I'm throwing it right back to Alex.
YouTube's
Alex,
down.
You've said it all, Sean.
YouTube is down. What? YouTube got knocked, clapped the hell out.
What more could we add, Warren?
I honestly, I have no idea. I mean, this is the kind of insight that you get.
Shout outs to Booker T. Batista is down was the greatest moment in SmackDown history. Before we get into this show, Warren, I want to know legitimately, without interrupting you, what is your favorite SmackDown moment of all time?
Man, there's a few of them. And one thing that always sticks in the back of my mind is, and you don't hear talk about it much, but a few years ago, Eddie Guerrero defended the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. I think he was teaming with Chavo at the time, but there was an injury angle set up. They were feuding with Team Angle, and Eddie Guerrero teamed with Tajiri, and they put their Tag Team Championships on the line against Team Angle, and that was a phenomenal match. They basically, it was a submission match where Team Angle went after Tajiri. They worked his legs to get him into a submission hold, and Eddie here ended the match with one of his greatest light sheet steel moments, where he stole the bell, the ring bell, rang it, and then did his patented, knock himself out, tosses the bell to I don't remember if it was, I think it was Charlie Haas, with the sound of the bell ringing and doing the whole thing. It was a great match with a perfectly Eddie Guerrero ending. That one always sticks with me.
While I do love the Batista is down moment, there were the early days of SmackDown where it seemed like there was some cool facet of a storyline every single week. It felt like. and they had that set, the original set. I'm not even talking about the fist. I mean the original with the Tron and the weird oval up at the top. That was so cool. I will look back at Brock Lesnar breaking the ring with Big Show. Really the first time we had ever seen anything like that done. We're going to share some more of our favorite SmackDown moments throughout this show. Alex, do you have any that stick out to you?
I'm reminded of the Kurt Angle Brock Lesnar match, the one on SmackDown, whenever that was so astounding. And although it's not actually on SmackDown, I'm going to say it kind of is. The Miz promo on Talking Smack. Mm-hmm. I mean, I consider Talking Smack to be an extension of SmackDown. And that was just transcendent to me. It showed where one guy could decide, I'm taking this character to another level. You guys can go ahead and hitch your wagon to it, but I'm going. And I honestly haven't looked at Miz the same since then, and he's only gotten more and more interesting in my eyes since then, and he's one of my favorite characters in wrestling now.
Definitely, since we started doing this show, that is one that we'll always remember. You look back, and I love how they handled it tonight with some of the still photos. I thought that was a nice touch that I don't remember them doing that a lot. Like, I don't remember them going that route a lot. And it was a nice touch because you get to see, like, there are some things that just play better in a single photo, and seeing like Eddie with China. That was really cool. Yeah. And one of the moments that is often overlooked that I think really was a big moment in SmackDown was when Austin got in The Rock's face and he's like, I need to beat you, Rock. That promo, that promo was real good. That was a special one. That was a really good one. And then, of course, on the other side, Big Boss Man toting Big Show's dad away, his casket on the funny side of things. But let's talk about SmackDown Live. We get a nice retrospective to kick off the show. R-Truth is in the ring with a fuchsia-haired Carmella. Alex, I would expect you to be on the up and up with hairstyles in WWE. Yeah. Did she change this again?
It's a little darker. I think they might have gone with a different hue to the dye this time. But
I thought it was brown, and then they changed it to like this.
It was always like auburn.
Okay.
Like there was a different, it wasn't just straight brown. There was a little reddish hue to it, and now it just seems more purple. But it can't be straight purple because that's Sasha Banks' thing. You either blonde or you have a crazy weird color. That's like the directive.
The rule, yeah. Yeah. They do a dance break. Carmella reminds them that their show got canceled. The crowd wants one more, and I love how they worked it in. R-Truth said, my guest needs no introduction, so we won't. Instead, we'll do another dance break. And they did. It's Stephanie McMahon, and I think, Warren, that R-Truth should have said, so Dixie, tell me.
Oh, that would have been spectacular and probably would have saved us all from the groans that we were all collectively having at that point. Because of course, you're going to have a celebration of WWE and you're going to start off with the McMahons. Of course.
Yeah. Stephanie comes out. She argues a little bit. There is a big True TV chant. Like this show is over, at least for what it is. And I like that. Shane McMahon is here, probably to go see his hot sister, Alex. Did you see that headline today?
No, I did not see that.
You didn't see that headline today, eh?
No, I've been with my kid all day.
Oh, well. Shane was on, I think, Busted Open Radio. Apologies if I get this wrong. And they asked him about the pitched incest storylines in the past.
Yeah.
And Shane McMahon replies jokingly with, well, my sister is hot, so I wouldn't have minded it.
I'm reacting to that in the same way I did when you read me Kidman's lyrics.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Oh, no. Yeah. Shane, this is the first time Shane's been on the show in, like, I don't know, forever. So that's a major deal right there. I'm glad he came back for the occasion, but it's also kind of nice that he gave the keys to Paige and just said, "You run this thing however you see fit. I'm going to be off in China or wherever."
Yeah. Man. So Mr. McMahon's music hits. And for better or for worse, Mr. McMahon is an incredibly over character no matter what. Yeah. The crowd now sings his theme song with him, which just adds so much to it, Warren. Like, Mr. McMahon walks out, and, you know, I can think what I want of Vince McMahon as a booker, as a creative mind these days, from a moral obligation, like all that stuff, different. Mr. McMahon as a wrestling character is super over, Warren.
There is definitely an argument to be made of for Vince McMahon's ultimate Attitude Era legacy being his character. And you know what? I found that Vince tonight came out with a little more swagger, a little more of that, a little more showmanship than he had when he came out at Raw 25. You know, he had the swagger. He had the Vince swagger complete overdrive as he was coming down to the ring. You know, was he like maybe he's feeling like you know, he has to maybe flex a little, you know, maybe boost up his chest a little. Maybe he has something to show off. He needs to show off a little bit tonight, a little of that Vince McMahon arrogance, perhaps, for some reason.
Well, he has a great idea. They'll dance.
Yeah,
that's what they do. The segment's over, Alex.
For the entertainment factor.
Yeah, because the third word in WWE is entertainment.
Yep.
And because he has a hot daughter.
I'm reminded of the classic GIF of him dancing in like 1982 or whatever with those.
Stand back, yeah.
Yeah, Yep, exactly. Same dance.
A little later than 82. The Usos defeated Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles. This isn't a match I realized that I needed until tonight, and I didn't get it quite to the level that I wanted because there was a big commercial break, and even though I got to see what was happening, so much of it is just time killer. But the Usos were last on SmackDown Live 6 weeks ago. Bryan applies the S-lock. Styles has the calf crusher. Usos get to the ropes. We come back to see Bryan running wild and throwing yes kicks, but Jimmy Uso breaks up the pin. Bryan accidentally hits AJ Styles. Then both get super kicked. Bryan gets pinned. Warren, personally, I thought the Usos winning were the right move. The story wasn't about them. The match wasn't about them. But it's good for them to get a win along the way because WWE likes to keep them strong to some degree. And I thought this was a fantastic way to get the Usos back on TV, make them look really strong, and to create dissension between AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan. What did you think of this, Warren?
Listen, what more can you add? That I agree. It was the good choice. It was the perfect choice to make them look a little stronger, add a little dissension within this WWE title feud. But I'm thinking, where recently have we seen a feud between two singles guys being put in tag teams against a legitimate tag team, and then this legitimate tag team getting wins over these legitimate singles wrestlers, and then saying to ourselves, oh, wow, they're finally putting this legitimate tag team over. Maybe finally we'll get that world title run. Oh, no, wait a minute. That was the Revival, right? The Revival. Yeah. and Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley. Yeah, that sure carried.
I need the Revival against the Usos.
Oh,
I need that real bad. Real bad. Alex, what were your thoughts on this match?
Well, bringing back the idea of talking smack as being part of the lexicon of SmackDown, what I really needed from this match, and I did not get, for the sake of continuity, is I needed Daniel Bryan to turn on AJ Styles and formally join the Usos to fulfill his destiny and finally become Sweet Beats. Because he's the Usos MC. He wears his hat sideways like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in 1991, and he pounds on the desk and he raps with the Usos about vegetables. And I need that character back. I really wanted to see it. I knew I wasn't going to. But listen, there's so many things about Daniel Bryan on Talking Smack that he did with when he was interacting with AJ Styles. They just need to bring back. Like there was a point where I don't remember exactly how this started, but he wanted to start the hashtag AJ Styles Wiener Challenge, but that didn't happen. He also needs to go at AJ Styles in a promo. Like once and for all, AJ, is the earth flat or not? Pick a side, man. Because that was all a whole part of Talking Smack too. Get that going.
They do have to settle that. I think this could actually be the cornerstone of this feud here. Did we fly when we flew over to Saudi Arabia? Was it a straight line or was it in a curve, AJ?
You mean when we flew to parts unknown?
Yeah.
An
Backstage.
undisclosed location.
Backstage, we see Paige, Vicky Guerrero, Teddy Long, and Johnny Ace. And that's it. That's all we see of them the rest of the night.
I so needed Teddy Long to come out and make a tag team match, playa. Like you just had it. He needed to happen.
It did. Kurt Hawkins is shown with Edge backstage. I like that touch, Warren. Kurt Hawkins, who fights backstage creatively to keep his losing streak wisely, I might add.
Yeah.
Shown with Edge. I liked it.
And he had Zack Ryder on his phone. It was the Edge heads. He had Zack Ryder on the phone.
And Edge was like, no, let's not. Let's not really. Short-haired Edge from Asheville, North Carolina is not something I could have gotten used to. I'm glad he grew the hair back out.
Yeah.
Evolution is back out. They get a great reaction, and Batista is amped up. Like he is more animated on the stage than anybody else, Warren.
Didn't you guys get a little teary-eyed? Like when he was pounding his fist as he was climbing up the stairs. I got a little misty-eyed, to be perfectly honest, because I know that it's been a long time he wanted to do this. I was really happy.
I
did not get misty-eyed.
I did feel really great for him because you could tell when he came out, like that was the coming out from behind Gorilla and the crowd going nuts. I mean, they're going nuts for Flair. And it's cool to see Evolution going back together, but they're really like saying, "Welcome back, Dave." Like, and that's a huge thing because I know he's been wanting to come back for like almost 5 years, and, and it's just a weird thing that I thought it was really cool to have for him to come out and he did the thing where he was letting his knuckles scrape against the stage before he was going to do his little machine gun thing. It was good. It was really good. I was happy for him. And from what we saw in this promo, there appears to be 2 possible directions they could go with a program for him, and that looks
one of which is him feuding with Ric Flair's penis. That seems to be
3 possible.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Triple H cuts a generic promo, probably the same promo he cut at Raw 25, probably the same one he'll cut at Raw 30, probably the same one he'll cut at SmackDown 20th anniversary. 1,000 episodes. How do you do it? Well, here's me in a stable I was a part of. Orton, Ric Flair gets a big pop for him, and it's good to see him. You can tell that with each passing week, he's more energetic, and this is a year after he's had his surgery and all that, and we thought that we might lose Ric Flair. So it's good to see him. Orton cuts a promo and says Batista has spent more time in a makeup chair than in the ring, which gets a real good reaction. Mm-hmm. That's a hell of a line, Alex.
Yep. I was like, ooh, well, hey, you know what? I don't really like watching Orton, but I'd watch an Orton versus Batista match at Mania if they're going to go in that direction.
Exactly.
And I thought that for about 35 seconds, and I was like, oh, instead, give me this other thing you're teasing.
Yes, I have been told we are now live on YouTube. YouTube is, in fact, not down. You guys can watch back the show and figure that one out. Warren, this little interaction between Randy Orton and Dave Batista.
I thought it was a nice little touch, I threw a little shade. I think, at first I was like, oh, is evil heel Randy going to come out? But no, it was just some good old fashioned banter, maybe a little ribbing in the ring. That's fine. I kind of was sort of hoping that clean cut Randy Orton there would sort of morph slowly into his sadistic character and then pull something off here. But yeah, like Alex said, 35 seconds later, we got more excited for something else.
Well, then Dave Batista takes to the microphone and says that, or he puts over SmackDown 1000, him wanting to be there, Washington, D.C., his hometown, great pop for that, and says that he loves this crowd. And man, you can feel just, it's genuine with Batista, especially over the last 4.5 years, with how outspoken he's been. And you heard on the CM Punk podcast about how CM Punk says Dave Batista sat on his couch and said, man, I shouldn't be in this match at Mania. It should be Daniel Bryan. I think a lot of that stuff contributes to this. He even name drops Blue Tista, and of course he does it on a night where Blue Chew does not sponsor us. Of course, we'll have to work that in somehow, just like you can work it in if you go to bluechew.com and use the code Fightful. That one's for free. But he puts everybody over in the ring and gets to Triple H and says this man has single-handedly changed wrestling. But the one thing he hasn't done is beat me. I like that, and it's true. Triple H, I don't think, has ever beaten Dave Batista in a singles match. That's pretty rare. Because, I mean, Batista owned Triple H in 2005. And let's make no mistakes.
Yeah.
From about October of 2004 through the summer of 2005 until he went to SmackDown, Triple H made Dave Batista with one of the great slow building storylines of that decade. And maybe ever. Because that turn was, Vince McMahon wanted to do it like that. Triple H and Batista fought to make it the storyline that it was. And it was a damn good one. By the time Batista turned on Triple H, I was ready for it. And there were seeds planted before that. So they hug, but afterwards, there's this little look off to the side, Warren. And when they hugged, I was like, oh, man. But then when there was that little look, Warren, you could see it. They're leaving that door open.
Man, I mean, Triple H's facials here were spectacular, like cordon bleu levels of excellence. The close-up was perfect. You know how you know, both you and I, Sean, respectively on our podcast, we read a bit about WWE production and how the cameras miss out on stuff, but here the close-up they had on Hunter was so critical and important and essential, and they got it. They got the perfect angle. They had everything, the lighting, everything was spectacular. You know, he was in full cerebral assassin mode at that point. He abandoned party mode Hunter. Now it's like, all right, you son of a bitch. I'm coming after you now.
WWE production, when they're not worried about the shakes and the zooms. I swear to God, I was doing a live stream for Fightful Gaming where The Miz beat me 8 times in a row, by the way. Go watch it on our YouTube. They have an option. Camera shakes. This is an option you can turn on and off. And you damn well better believe I turned it off. But when they catch stuff like this, it's so good. Alex, man, this is... If they're going to do a couple of old timers, this is a couple I would watch.
Yeah. One thing, the camera always makes sure to get the exact right shots when they know they're going to have to put a video package together to promote the match later. Like that's what I felt like. I was like, this is definitely, all of these shots are definitely going to be the video package for this match. Also, I don't know if you guys caught this, but there was a little joking thing that Randy did off to the side where he kind of like sidled up and did a little quick movement that I was like, oh crap, they're going to do the RKO. And then they didn't. I thought that would have been great too. I'm all for this Triple H versus Batista match. That'd be a lot of fun. But here's the deal that I think sours it in my mind. Because of the whole Triple H has never beaten Batista. Well, then obviously Triple H is going to put himself over in this match.
Maybe
Batista for the first. Like to me, that seems like an obvious Hunter thing. But I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We might even get that match, but I hope we do.
But hasn't Batista been on record at some point saying that he wants Hunter to end his career? Like he wants Hunter to beat him and end his wrestling career for good.
Yeah.
Yep. Just do it right, and I'm all for it.
Oh, for sure.
And you look at some of these things, it's like, okay, so Triple H, he lost to Seth Rollins. He lost to Roman Reigns. He beat Sting, which was kind of controversial. A lot of people thought that he shouldn't have done that. He beat Daniel Bryan, or he got beat by Daniel Bryan. I mean, if Triple H is probably going to keep doing these for 5-10 more years. I mean, I think it's safe to say he'll be 55, still working WrestleMania matches. He's got to win some here and there. And he beat The Undertaker. That's fine, but occasionally he'll win them.
Doesn't he have one of the worst win-loss records as far as WrestleMania goes? I think
probably overall, but I mean, even then, I mean, he's won WrestleMania main events, several of them. He won the 2000 one over 3. He beat Foley, Big Show, and The Rock. So he's won his fair share. He's beat Booker T. He's won plenty. But there was also a line in here where Dave Batista says, "Ric Flair, what about him can I tell you all that you don't already know?" And he goes, "Well, probably a lot." And they giggle, and then he goes, "Keep it in your pants," and it pops everybody in the ring, Alex.
Yes, it does. And then you did a big old...
think about it.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Then you think about it, you're like, yeah, he showed his dick to an awful lot of airline attendants, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yep, he is definitely not... Prime Ric Flair would not have gone over in this day and age at all.
Man, that was a fun segment, though. It set some stuff up. It was harmless. It got Batista on TV. People wanted to see Batista, and Batista wanted to be there. Miz then defeated Rusev in a World Cup qualifier in about 1 minute flat.
I think I sneezed. I didn't see the match. So,
well, I think it's all Americans in this World Cup war. And how do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, just call it the Americas, the Americas Cup, and I'm
now hold on, sir. They had like 10 countries represented in that battle royal last week.
Okay. Do go on.
That's it. That's really it. Okay. Flash Flanagan appeared in this battle royal. Alex, this match was Rusev missing by a mile on a spinning heel kick, Aiden English distracting him, and Miz rolling him up for the win.
Well, listen. I don't see why you couldn't have done this match next week and given it 5 to 10 minutes and actually told a story with it. Then you could have Aiden English, distract him for the loss there. But I guess when you're going to have all these promos and Undertaker's got to take 7 minutes to walk to the ring, you got to cut time from somewhere. So you have Miz beat Rusev in, you said, a minute flat, and flat being the operative word there.
Yeah.
It was, listen, at least here's this thing was so funny, is at least you say, oh, well, it furthers the Aiden English storyline. Lana gets to kick him right in the hashtag penis. And then Rusev gets to do a beatdown. He's going to put him through a table. Oh, wait, we had to cut away from that because we still don't have enough time to show you the beatdown because we got to move on to the next thing. And that's why some of these things like Raw 25 felt kind of overstuffed, but it was 3 hours long, so we got everything in. With this being 2 hours long, you could tell they had like all the stuff they wanted to do, but we also have to give you matches, and those matches in a lot of ways kind of cut short or truncated.
That they did. Lana is livid, and she kicks English right in the penis.
That's what I came for.
Wow. I don't think Aiden English will be doing that anytime soon. He gets his ass
serve him up. You serve him up, and he just
listen, you son of a bitch. This Friday, I got to film 2 shows with you.
Yes,
that you recommended,
mm-hmm.
And I later learned you sarcastically recommended them, not expecting us to actually cover them. World War III, 98, because of the 20-year anniversary of Jericho versus Bobby Duncum, he says. And I was like, you know what? That sounds like it'd be okay. Let's cover it. Then he goes, you know what? How about like Survivor Series 94, 93? And I said, all right, whatever. So those are a couple of the retro reviews on FightfulSelect.com you all are getting over the next couple of months. And let me tell you, Warren, it was not fun.
Let's not spoil too much, but to our listening audience, if you're already a member of Fightful Select, you're going to definitely enjoy Sean watching a San Antonio-based pay-per-view. And if you're not a member, this is the perfect time to subscribe.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's a little plug for you guys. We did ECW One Night Stand 06 this month with our boy John Baez.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun getting a New Yorker's perspective on that show. I love that. Also, he's covered a lot of sports in his day as well. The Cutting Edge, little known fact, Edge actually teamed with Christian in his last match ever. A lot of people think WrestleMania was his last match. He did a dark match a couple nights after WrestleMania where he, Christian, Mysterio, Triple H, and Big Show beat Alberto Del Rio and The Core. Edge brings out Becky Lynch and says that he sees a lot of himself in her. I love that he drew that comparison, Warren. I thought it was appropriate. And I see a lot of Edge in Becky Lynch as well.
And it took Edge to bring that up because I hadn't thought of it. And I really liked how, he put over the fact that, I wasn't supposed to be the guy in the main event. I wasn't supposed to be the championship material. I fought and scratched, went the whole way just like you. And at this point, I'm just at this point in the promo, I'm just sitting back and I'm like, how is this helping us hate Becky? Don't know
if it's supposed to, really. I mean, a little bit here and there. I think at this point, they should just realize whatever she does is going to get over. Don't have her shit on the crowd. The thing I liked about what Edge said, Alex, is that he's putting her on the same level as the WWE Championship. He's putting her on the same level as Edge versus John Cena. He's putting her on the same shelf that he was on when he carried that show for so long.
Yes, absolutely. And with good reason. I hadn't thought of the parallels either, but he brought them up and every one of them rang true to me. But I agree with you, Sean, to a point that they're not trying to get us to hate Becky. What she says to Edge a little bit after this, that's obviously trying to get people to boo Becky. And we've reached a point where there is nothing they could do to get her to heel in the audience's eyes. They love her. Doesn't matter if you insult this man's career-ending injury. It doesn't matter. They're going to cheer for her. It's a weird point that she's gotten to.
She's over, and it's the type of over that can only happen accidentally in WWE at this point. And I don't even know if that's something that's on WWE. At this point, the most over reactions you're going to get, popular reactions you're going to get consistently are people who got there, I don't want to say in spite of WWE, but sometimes. I mean, Braun Strowman was portrayed as a heel against Roman Reigns. That wasn't where the crowd wanted him, and he started to get over because he was the guy beating up Roman Reigns. They didn't expect that. Seth Rollins, on the other hand, that was one that WWE, they pushed him, but they were like, well, we don't want him getting this reaction. We want this other guy. If and when WWE decides to get out of their own way and really starts to, it just comes down to them reading the room. They have to be able to read the room, and they have to be able to adjust. They have something very special in Charlotte and Becky Lynch. They have a person that the people view as the golden girl, not like B. Arthur or any of them. Not like any of them. Betty White. That would be awesome, though. Let's just say that. And Becky Lynch is not saying thank you for being a friend. She's telling that biatch to hit the bricks, and the crowd loves it. And she tells Edge, I don't like myself. I love myself. And the crowd loved that line, Alex. They ate it up after Edge said, I threw away friendships and all that stuff. I was waiting for Becky to say, oh, don't worry. Me and Charlotte will have our podcast in 20 years. We'll be just fine. But right now, I want these titles. And Becky, Edge is sitting there saying, you'll be alone looking at your titles in a room. And for Becky Lynch, she's like, bitching. Awesome.
It was the most unintentionally inspiring line of the night.
It was. I can't say enough positive things about Edge's role in this and Becky's role in this, Alex. I thought that it was fitting.
Absolutely. But it was one of those things where I love her entrance now. Like, it used to be this thing where she would come out and she'd be super energetic and she'd high five all the fans and she'd dip through the ropes and like she'd have her arms spread out wide and everyone was cheering for her. I love that she comes down, she holds up the championship high because she's very proud of that accomplishment.
Of course.
She smiles all the way to the ring. The thing I've always hated about quote unquote arrogant characters is that they're usually played in a way of like, I'm arrogant and how dare all of you people cheer for me?
Yes.
That's stupid. If somebody was really arrogant, they would absolutely believe they deserved all the adulation they were getting. So I love that Becky is like, yes, absolutely. You should cheer for me because I am awesome. That's something that an arrogant character would do. And I really love that about where they're going with her. That she's just being absolutely true to herself.
Warren, she hits Edge with a great line. Don't hurt your neck getting out of the ring. And Edge was game for this. Because Edge is a smart one. That was such a beautiful line. The way that she delivers that line, the way that she calls Charlotte a bitch, it's a cut above.
It still kind of stung a bit. Like, of course, especially, he's a Canadian boy. I'm going to look out for my guys.
You guys are too nice. Alex, what did you think of this line?
Oh, no, the line was absolutely, I feel it was intended to get a bad reaction. They wanted her to get a bad reaction, but the crowd reacted like, oh, no, she didn't, which is not what I don't think wanted, but it was totally true in the moment. They were like, we love this girl no matter what she does.
Well, that's the new reaction. That's the new, when you've hit it. I mean, the Bellas last night in Rousey, when that was brought up, that's the type of reaction they got. It's the, oh, shit, I can't believe they went there.
Yep.
Now, this is in a time where comments like this are fairly regular. Compared to 15 years ago, 12 years ago, lines like this didn't happen. Occasionally in a pre-CM Punk pipe bomb WWE, they would happen. They happen every other week now. So if you're able to still gain that type of reaction, that's special. Charlotte comes out and she's like, I can't believe you went there. And then she attacks Becky. And for Charlotte, I'm like, okay, whatever. You're getting that reaction. But what I wanted to see after this, Warren, I wanted to see Beth Phoenix coming out and beating Becky Lynch's ass. If that could be a match that I could see sometime in the future, Becky Lynch defending the honor of her husband, that would be very cool. I wouldn't mind it.
That would be fantastic. And could you imagine then Becky Lynch ending the match, dusting herself off, having beaten a Hall of Famer? Oh,
that'd be good.
The extra juice her character would get for weeks and weeks, and it'd be fantastic.
Also, and I have no idea if Beth Phoenix wants this. Beth Phoenix deserves that type of match, Alex, for bridging so long what she did. She's not wrestled a singles match since 2012, so who knows? And she wasn't exactly working a lot of long ones back then because of the nature of that. But man, that's the type of match. If you plot Beth Phoenix down today, and boy, does she fit. She is everything they want Dana Brooke to be.
Yeah.
Or wanted her to be.
Yes. Yeah. I honestly feel like they were trying to get Dana Brooke to be that, and then they booked her as Charlotte's mini-me. Like, they didn't have anything for her. So it's kind of hard for her to get to become a glamazon when she's like, I'm going to stand by the ring and take notes. Okay, Charlotte? Like, that doesn't work.
So Charlotte's gimmick is that she is a white knight, I think. SmackDown Tag Team Championships. The Bar defeated New Day to become champions. This was a very good match. Xavier and Big E are your duo. You have Jerry Lawler and Booker T at your Bootios announce table. We saw occasional cut-ins. The Bar cracked Xavier, Alex, with one of the best double clotheslines I've ever seen. I'm talking like the hand on each other's shoulder.
Yeah.
They plowed through him. We're not this handhold Red Rover horse shit that we see so often. These two embraced and just ran their biceps and elbows into Xavier Woods. This was a good one.
I like that a lot. There are so many things about this. And I listen, as I said, when the bar was started to actually be on TV more, these teams have great matches against each other because of all of their success as singles wrestlers with Sheamus and Cesaro, knowing all the beats that you need to do in order to sell those matches. And Big E just works so well with both of those guys. It's all about strength on strength. And then Xavier Woods or Kofi zipping in and out with their agile stuff. It's so great. I love all these matches.
You know, the funny thing is with the brand split, I figured that would give Big E more of a chance to stand out and be a single star. But man, their rosters are so loaded. Andrade almost doesn't get on TV anymore. Nakamura just got on TV for this. Jeff Hardy's never on TV anymore. Now you're adding Rey Mysterio to the mix.
Yep.
My God, man, it's tough. So this match is just outstanding. Big E gets a hot tag that involves him almost killing Cesaro with a Uranagi. Ref checks on him. He's okay. Sheamus misses a brogue kick, and Big E does that YOLO dive. Big E, scary in this match, Warren.
And Sheamus and Cesaro here within that very short span of time that you just described there took the hardest bumps. Cesaro almost got killed, but the YOLO spear, I guess, because it wasn't exactly a dive, the YOLO spear, the way Sheamus landed on the outside, he landed flat on his back. That looked rough.
Yeah, during that move, I'm going to have to go back and watch. I'm pretty sure a Big E caught his hair on the ring rope because there was a section of the hair that was like ripped away. Like
really?
Scalp underneath it. And as soon as he landed, he grabbed at it. And I looked at his head and like, that wasn't there before. That little line in his
looked like he gave himself the Road Warrior Hawk.
It looked like he gave himself a really drastic part right down the middle of it.
That's hilarious.
That's not good, man. That can't feel good at all.
Big ending hits on Cesaro.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Woods hits a Shining Wizard and gets two. Big ending on Cesaro. Neutralizer on Big E, but Woods breaks it up, and we go to a commercial. They are beating the piss out of each other. The Bar get a powerbomb and super European uppercut, but Sheamus puts his feet on the ropes, and Kofi yanks them away. The Bar catches Xavier flying over the top rope, send him into the barricade, and the Bar start to clean off the Booty-O's table. But Big Show's music hits. Big Show comes out, and it wouldn't be the 1000th SmackDown without Big Show's 1000th turn. He puts Kofi Kingston through the table. Sheamus hits a brogue kick for the win, and we have new tag team champions. Big Show celebrating with the Bar. Alex, I like this.
Yeah,
I like. Now, who knows if they'll explain it?
Yeah.
But I like the idea of Cesaro and Sheamus saying, "You all got three guys. Well, we're gonna get three guys, and we have a guy."
Yep, that to me sells it. If they say, "Listen, it's not fair that you guys have three. We want a third, and we're gonna get the biggest guy we can find." That's great, and absolutely because Big Show has no loyalty to anybody.
Exactly,
he'd absolutely sell out his mother for a ham sandwich. So absolutely, why not? But I have a fear that they're just gonna forget about this. Big Show won't be on TV for 6 weeks, and when he comes back, he'll turn face. Like it feels like that's one of those things they could do. However, my hope with all of this is that we just get some good 6-man tags out of it, and let's get the Usos a third guy, because then you can have a 4 corners match of the Bar and Big Show, the Bar Show, plus New Day, plus the Usos and whoever they get, plus Sanity. But book it. I want to watch it. Put it on TV.
Roman Reigns would have been a good third for
Yeah.
the Usos.
Yeah,
that is where I think Roman Reigns will truly come into his own. You put him with the Usos,
yes,
he'll shine. Warren, what'd you think of all this? New tag team champions.
I was actually surprised, pleasantly surprised, because the evening sort of kind of felt, the matches felt they were going through the motions a little bit. You weren't really expecting anything out of the ordinary. They just come off of their tag team matches, and the New Day, the New Day beat them in Australia. Didn't they have a rematch last week or the week before? And they beat them there as well. Now was another match, and I was like, okay, it's fine. It's the kind of match you don't groan all that much because New Day and the bar works so well. I was pleasantly surprised. I hope they go far with this. I adored the visual of Big Show in the middle of two huge guys. It's just like a wall. It's a wall of man right there that you can impenetrable, indomitable.
If nothing else, Big E's specific reaction to watching Big Show slam Kofi through the table, like the way he reacted, lets me know we're having a Big E versus Big Show match, singles match, where Big E gets to throw Big Show all over the ring, and it's going to be a showcase of Big E's strength. I feel like that's been inherently promised to us by lingering on Big E's specific reaction to that betrayal.
Big Show, a bit underrated in his tag team career. You look back, WCW, three-time champion, Lex Luger, Sting, Scott Hall. In WWE, The Undertaker twice, Kane twice, Jericho, Miz. He's been there through a lot of teams. He's been that guy for a lot of guys. So if he was a de facto tag team champion as a part of this, I like it. And it's hard to tell how many reigns that really gives him, because two or three of his WWE tag team titles were when he held another set of titles. So does that count as another reign, or is it the same reign? But he's right around at least 10, and that doesn't exactly happen a lot. He continues to be a little more decorated, and hey, he's in good shape. Good for him. I like this use of the Big Show.
I just like to throw in here that Booker T was on commentary, like actually speaking for maybe a complete total of 4 minutes, and still managed to get in the line when commenting on tag team efficiency between, I think it was the bar. He said, "That's tag team working together there."
He would know. By the way, cheap plug, Stevie Ray was my guest on the most recent Making a Finisher, a series where I take a look at finishing moves, how they were developed, why they did them, maybe some that went away. That was a story that Stevie Ray told, said that he and Booker T had to abandon the Harlem Hangover, and he explains to me why. The audio is up on YouTube, but if you go to Fightful's Twitter at Fightful Online, it is pinned up there. Check out that story. I have a very spooky edition coming up for Halloween. Ooh, I know Alex and Mr. Warren Hayes are excited for that. Subscribe to FightfulSelect.com, tier 2, $10 a month. You get a bunch of those early. World Cup qualifier, Rey Mysterio defeated Shinsuke Nakamura. It's going to take some getting used to for me to see Rey looking like this in a WWE ring, Warren. The last I remember him consistently was like bloated Rey, where they're like, you got to be bigger. You got to be bigger. I know you're 5'4", but you got to be bigger.
Yeah. But I mean, maybe it wasn't as much of a surprise to me because of his recent New Japan appearances, and I've slowly and not all in. You sort of you start gleaning into it, but I understand that he looks very different than the Ray that was taking on the world back then, for sure.
Also, he had the pants back then that I think people kind of associated that entire look with that run that didn't end so well. And I
was kind of surprised they didn't do the springboard entrance, like
those knees, man.
I know it's his knees, but I mean, like this one time, I'm not saying bring it back forever, but it's SmackDown 1000. You're not giving us the fist.
Yeah.
Give us the springboard Ray entrance.
They should have brought the fist back, but they didn't. They should have brought the fist back. Alex, did you know that they got that set, the pop-up set, from Garth Brooks? That very set belonged to Garth Brooks.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
My question is, why does Sean know this?
I think it was on WWE Warehouse or something, but they got it from him. You know, a thing that I respect so much about Rey is he could have headed back to WWE months and months ago.
Yep.
What did he do? He kept his obligations to New Japan, to All In. He committed to those. He did them. Then he went. There were a lot of people that weren't afforded that same opportunity. This match was pretty good. It was an above average SmackDown match, but still fell a little short on my match ratings because commentary ruined a lot of this for me. Like Tom Phillips, as Jimmy Van, Fightful.com founder, pointed out, called a move that Rey has been doing for over 2 decades, innovative, the Hurricane Rana off the top rope. But Mysterio and Nakamura weren't on the same page on the head scissors attempt. Nakamura was not taking it easy on his knees with Rey. He was laying him in there. But Rey did this baseball slide splash, Alex, that I loved.
I love that move. That's an old vintage Mysterio move. I love it. It's one of my favorite spots he does.
I'm looking for Jeff Hardy to get real cute and then do a swanton out of it, like just and then just roll out or something. This is a showcase for Mysterio. He wins with the 619. This feud will continue. Warren, I know that they're booked for Starrcade, which is close to my home in Cincinnati. I'm hoping to go to that, maybe do some work there. But Rey Mysterio in the World Cup makes sense. He is a big name. They're going to send him to Saudi Arabia.
It makes sense. He's still an American, but it makes sense that for booking wise for him to be in there, probably a little more than Shinsuke. And look, I agree that this match maybe didn't quite live up to any lofty expectations we might have. But if their feud is supposed to go forward, and this is always how I approach these matches now that these new matches that appear on SmackDown and Raw, if they're going to drag this out, well, if the initial match isn't all that great, then maybe they're going to drag it out. Maybe the big payoff is yet to come, and I'm kind of hoping for it because Rey can still go. Shinsuke is still right there. Just give him free reign. It could be an excellent match.
Worth noting, earlier in the night, Kurt Angle was on commentary as well, so they got in a Kurt Angle appearance. He was a big part of the SmackDown Live, or the SmackDown roster, rather. People that weren't on the show tonight: Andrade Cien Almas, Samoa Joe, Shelton Benjamin, a big part of SmackDown's history.
Al Wilson.
Al Wilson was not on the show. So some key parts of this virtually no women besides Carmella, Charlotte, and Lana was on the show, so they got a few of them on there. Shane made his little appearance, but
I did want to bring up that a child born on the day of Halloween Havoc 1997, when Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero had that classic match for the Cruiserweight Championship.
Yes, one of the best
is turning 21 and will be legally able to drink in 10 days. And that's nuts to me that this guy's still doing it at a fairly high level after being 20. Not like he's doing he's not working safe, as Daniel Bryan would talk about The Miz. This guy's been putting his body through the ringer for 2 decades plus. And by the way, if you want to see some vintage Rey Mysterio out there and you're younger and don't really know his history, go back if you have the network and watch that match with Eddie Guerrero, Halloween Havoc 1997. That was insane.
That DDT spot is still one of my favorite of all time.
Absolutely.
There were a lot of moves that I would see in later years I would try to emulate and do in the ring. Can I pull that off? That ain't one I'm ever looking at. Because you see that, took his hand, went up to the top rope, springboarded, backflip, moonsault, DDT. That may have been the single smoothest, most beautiful spot in pro wrestling that I've ever seen. And I look at that, and I'm like, I see that, and I'm like, you have to be special to pull that off.
Yeah.
Not only that, you have to have somebody else who's special in there to pull that off, and make that moment happen. Guys, we did the Fightful MMA podcast today at 2 p.m. Eastern. Myself, Showdown Joe, James Lynch give you an inside look at lots of stuff. Cormier, Lewis. Here's a fun one. Are you both familiar with Derek Lewis?
he of the very hot testicles. Yes.
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 Are you familiar with him, Warren?
Well, that's how he got into my mind castle. Yes.
Okay, WWE wrestlers love him. Had a house full of them talk about how much they loved him after 229. He's fighting Daniel Cormier for the UFC heavyweight title, with the winner, quite frankly, likely facing Brock Lesnar, that being Daniel Cormier. But do you know who Derek Lewis fought in his first pro fight?
No.
How about Mitch from the Spirit Squad?
Wow.
No way. Really?
He fought Mitch from the Spirit Squad. Oh, and Derek Lewis's pants fell down during the fight. I'll have an article on it, but that was actually Nick Mitchell's first fight as well. Nick Mitchell, who was on Tough Enough Season 4. But he had one fight. He ran into the guy who would eventually be the Black Beast, and he said, "All right!" and never fought again. That'll do it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Thought that was some nice trivia there. But we got a lot of cool stuff for you at Fightful.com. Listen, your boy, Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Last week, we had a different type of show. We had Jimmy Van was out of town, so I interviewed Dan of Leather by Dan, David Bixenspan, and Demon Diva. Talked more of a talk show because I wasn't doing Listen, your boy without Jimmy Van. To me, that's like sacrilegious, not doing that. But I learned today that the 100th episode of Listen, your boy will also fall on the 2-year anniversary of Listen, your boy. And we're getting some cool stuff together for that. Trying to at least got some flakes too. Some flaky flakes. But stay tuned for that. FightfulSelect.com, as I mentioned, guys, the best way to support Fightful directly. We have our own community there. You all get to contribute to interviews that I do. You'll get early access across some of the tiers. But just head over to FightfulSelect.com. Look at what we have in the $5 and $10 tiers. Maybe there's something that you'll like. Warren, I know we're filming Friday. What do you have going on this week?
Well, on FightfulSelect.com, I do my weekly 205 Live NXT recap show, which is currently being sprinkled with a bit of magic from the Mae Young Classic. Do that immediately after the Mae Young Classic. If you're a FightfulSelect.com member, come join me live. We've got the chat going. It's a good time. If you're not a member, it's the perfect time to jump in. Come on in. The matches are fantastic. I have a great time doing it. Otherwise, I do my own SmackDown and Raw recaps on my own channel, which is at tinyurl.com/Mr. Warren Hayes, or you can find me on Twitter at Mr. Warren Hayes.
A lot of websites, if they completely ignore the Lucha Undergrounds, Ring of Honors, Impact Wrestling, 205, NXT, NXT UK, Mae Young Classic, and don't provide podcast updates on those. All of those are covered between Warren's show and my Weekender show on FightfulSelect.com. I also give you exclusive news and an update on the injury report, which WWE cleared off effectively this week. Did a pretty good job of that. Alex, there are some other sites that just go live after SmackDown 1000. We're here every damn Tuesday.
That's right.
We're not part-timers.
No. Speaking of part-timers, I wanted to quickly mention John Cena's ridiculous promo thing he did the thing.
Wasn't even worth mentioning, but
I know.
He did.
I love that he started out with a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, like the most dad joke ever. He's so ridiculously corny now. And we have to talk about how The Undertaker takes 7 minutes to come to the ring. I
forgot. I almost didn't cover that. The Undertaker walks out, takes 7 minutes, says, "I've got 3 words for you at Crown Jewel. Rest in peace. Hit the bricks."
That's it. I love that he goes. He starts with at Crown Jewel, and the crowd boos.
Yes, they booed.
They booed. Like they're like, no, you can't just like take away. Like honestly, I'm very curious to see if they ever mention where it's taking place during the actual broadcast of it.
It was so inconsequential that I almost forgot to cover it.
Yeah,
that and the Cena thing.
Yeah. Cena a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Real happy in China, though. I don't know if you saw that interview where he's like, "I live a normal life here." He's like, "I've never stayed still for 3 months in a row until now."
He only spoke Mandarin for 3 months. Like he's a monk now. Like it's just so weird. I love
he is Ace Ventura 2 Pet Detective, like when nature calls.
Yep.
And you just know there are monks that are like, get him the fuck out of here. Get him out of here. He won't let us wear our shoes in the house. It's too much.
He keeps claiming he's invisible. It's too much.
Guys, thank you all so much. We've been covering this show live, the only pro wrestling website that brings you a live video show every single week after SmackDown and has since the brand split. So thank you guys for supporting us. Join us for our other shows, but most importantly, Fightful.com, FightfulSelect.com. Let people know about us. We're still very young. I want to thank you guys so much for supporting us. Until next time, we are out.